So Apple's entering a brand new chapter. After 15 incredible years of growth with Tim Cook at the helm, the world's most valuable company has a new leader. And let me tell you, he's inheriting both a titan of a company and a potential minefield. Let's get into what's happening.
Okay, first things first, let's just get a sense of the stakes here. We're talking about a $4 trillion company. That's the number Apple hit under Tim Cook. It's a level of success that was, almost unimaginable when he first took over from Steve Jobs. And to put that into perspective, he grew the company's value more than 11 times over. This guy was a master of everything from global supply chains to turning Apple into a services powerhouse. But now he's stepping into an executive chairman role, and he's handing over the keys at what might just be the most challenging moment in recent memory.
And yeah, that brings us to that minefield I mentioned. Because even though Tim Cook is leaving Apple at its absolute financial peak, the new CEO, John Ternus, is walking right into a perfect storm of challenges. I mean, these are issues that could seriously define the company for the next decade. So what exactly is in this storm? Well, for starters, there's the whole AI gap everyone's talking about. Then you've got these fierce antitrust battles happening on multiple continents. There's the incredibly delicate balancing act with China, let's face it, the consumer flop of the ambitious Vision Pro, and on top of all that, a lot of turnover on the executive team. That is a lot to handle from day one. And speaking of those legal battles, Apple is fighting a war on a global scale. Seriously. Here in the US, you've got the Department of Justice suing them over an alleged smartphone monopoly. At the same time, the fight with Epic Games is threatening the App Store's entire revenue model. And then you jump over to India, where they're facing a potential $38 billion fine for market abuse. Any one of these could completely change how Apple does business.
Then, of course, there's the AI race, and Apple is taking a completely different path here. While its competitors, Microsoft, Google, are just pouring billions into massive data centers to build their own giant AI brains in the cloud, Apple's playing a different game. They're all about strategic partnerships and using the powerful chips that are already inside your phone to run AI locally. It's a very calculated, and you could argue, a pretty risky countermove.
So, who is the guy tasked with navigating this whole minefield? Well, let's meet Apple's new captain, John Ternus. Now, Ternus isn't some outsider. He's an Apple lifer. He joined way back in 2001, worked his way up through the hardware division, and he learned from both Steve Jobs and his mentor, Tim Cook. This long journey from product design all the way to the CEO's office, it really shows you just how steeped he is in Apple's unique culture. People have described him as an affable mechanical engineer, with a calm management style that's a lot more like Tim Cook's than Steve Jobs. And his track record? It's really impressive. He's been at the helm for some game-changing products like Apple Silicon, AirPods, and the Apple Watch. So the main takeaway here is, at his core, he is a product guy. And this quote right here, it gets to the very heart of his philosophy. It's not about being first to market. It's about being the best. It's all about that signature Apple quality and experience, a principle he believes in whether it's for a high-end MacBook Pro or a more affordable device. So how does a product-focused leader plan to tackle Apple's perceived AI problem? Well, it turns out Apple's been playing the long game. Let's take a look at their AI playbook. Okay, their strategy really has 4 key parts. First, they're going to use those powerful AI-capable chips they've been putting in iPhones since 2017 to run tasks right on the device itself. Second, they're doubling down on privacy, which is a huge differentiator from companies like Google and Meta. Third, they're using smart partnerships with big players like OpenAI and Google to bake top-tier models right into their ecosystem. And finally, they're looking ahead to the next generation of AI-native hardware. And here's the quiet genius of Apple's position. Even though they aren't seen as the AI leader, their platform is the main way we all access it. Just look at the App Store. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they are consistently the most downloaded free apps on the iPhone. So Apple stays right at the center of the AI universe. And oh yeah, it gets a cut. And this quote really gets to the heart of the strategy. By promoting a hardware guy like John Ternus, Apple is making a massive statement. They're betting the future of AI isn't just in the cloud or in some chatbot, but in beautifully integrated devices that work perfectly right in your hand, or maybe even on your face. This all leads us to the fundamental, truly trillion-dollar question that's going to define the Ternus era, and really, the future of Apple itself.
Look, the company's DNA, its entire history, is built on ignoring the noise, waiting for just the right moment, and, like their famous slogan says, thinking different. It's how they completely changed music, phones, and personal computing.
But the AI race is moving at a speed we've never seen before. So the question that John Ternus has to answer is this: will that classic Apple strategy, that patient, hardware-first, long game, prove to be another masterstroke? Or could this be the one time in this one race where it ends up being the company's biggest mistake?